What in the world do you do for 38 Studios, by the way?
Wow. I meddle a lot. I interfere. I think I'm the keeper of the culture now. I think that's my last job. I'm in the office every day by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm wandering around talking to people and watching amazing stuff happen. The key piece is to understand your most important asset, your most valuable asset comes in the morning and goes home at night. And when they've bought in, there's not a lot left for me to do.
We know about this Well of Souls, it's the Age of Arcana.
Yeah.
But is there more of this story? Is there a bad guy?
Well, sure. There has to be, right? I mean, my hope is that people are going to start putting two and two together. When you understand the Well of Souls and Reckoning, and you're the first person to ever be reborn and to come through the well, and then you fast forward to the MMO where the well plays a very integral part in the backstory. There's going to be a maturation process for that magic. And then the implications of immortality on the world. And Ari's talked about this. What do they mean when no one knows it exists? And then what does it mean when everyone knows that it exists? And one of the key things for me as Reckoning gets unveiled is to watch the people who are interested in lore looking for, because clearly there's going to be more than two races in the MMO. You've got elves and you've got humans. And there are, I think, not most of, but there are some of the NPC races in Reckoning that are actually playable races in the MMO. And there are monsters and there are stories that will carry forward to the MMO. So there's a lot of really cool plot twists and ties.
What type of games would you say really influenced this game? Like, where did you feel like your team?
Right. So, I mean, if you look at the two key drivers, from a business perspective and a back-of-the-box sales feature, you're looking at incredibly visceral in-your-face combat and open-world RPG. And those two things, I've never played a game with those two things both done well. And so when you think of visceral combat in your face, you think of God of War. Kind of the ultimate in combat. And when you think of open world, you think of Oblivion. But as soon as you do that, people start to think, okay, what in Oblivion did they have? What in God of War? And that's the game I don't want people to play. I don't want people to spend time looking for things that aren't there. I'd rather them spend time looking for the things we say are there. And then they find the stuff that we want them to find.
Nice. How do you feel like you guys are innovating on it? I mean, obviously combat's a big part of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference. I'm not so sure you have to be innovative as much as you have to make a great game. Like Fallout was innovative and cool, but at the end of the day, the story in Fallout was so badass and cool. That's what everybody remembers. You can't. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody if you asked them about Fallout 3 saying this game mechanic was the reason I played. Everybody talks about the badass story. Baldur's Gate. I mean, it was an incredible story, an amazing story. I mean, and so in a sense, we set out to make a really cool game. And when you have the foundation there, and you've got RA and you've got Todd doing what it is they do really well, and then you've got teams of people that can make those things that they do really well, then you have a Ken Ralston come in and say, okay, artistically this is badass, and from a story perspective this is really cool. Here's how we're going to make it a game. And he's done that before, and that's where the magic happens.
Our community is very interested in what other types of intellectual property associated with Amalur might be coming out. We might anticipate. Obviously, your website says possibly comics books. I mean, is there any kind of feel for?
Yes. I mean, so there's the no-brainer stuff. I mean, why wouldn't we be doing comic books with Todd McFarlane involved? Why wouldn't we be doing short stories and potentially novels with RA involved? Why wouldn't we be doing comics or ebooks with Todd's art and RA's story together? Why wouldn't we be doing collectible toys? Those are all like no-brainers where we want to be potentially unique and different. I mean, I think there's multiple movies in this lore and in this IP. I want to bring that to the table. All those things, we have to kind of restrain ourselves because what we're doing is already huge and difficult. And the minute we start putting resources towards, hey, it'd be really cool to have a theme park. We're not doing the MMO, we're not focusing on the RPG, and right now, polishing Reckoning and making that the best game, the game of the year for the year it's released, is our only priority. And so that's, yes, to all those people that are asking those questions, you haven't thought of something we haven't thought of, and there's so much we're going to do, but there's a right time, a right place, and a right execution plan for that.
What would you say is your sort of philosophy on community, especially community sites, how that integrates with an MMO or an RPG like Reckoning? Like, I want to hear your thoughts.
I think that first of all, I think there's a very big underappreciation in the MMO community for how much of an impact you have on the MMO developers. When we found out, I can remember the day that people realized 38 Watch existed, and 38 fans and 38 gamers, they're like, oh my God, we have fan sites. I mean, and we're making concept art. I mean, we have fan sites. So that's an energizing thing. MMO fan sites and fan forums are the lifeblood of everything we do, because regardless of the thread, the fact that somebody takes the time and effort to go online and post something means they care, right? And if you're talking about a gaming company whose goal is to create the best guest experience in the industry, then you are who we're talking about. So you can't be a Curt Schilling who acts and reacts to every post. But if you're not listening, people will stop talking. And you've seen, and a lot of people on the fan side have seen the interactions. A lot of people at our company have posted on those forums. And I think our PR and marketing people would be way happier if I never did, but it's something I've always done and always will do, so there's just really nothing they can do about it. I just have to understand, and people have to understand, most times I'm trying to post as a gamer, but I'm never taken that way. And I get that, and I slowly have gotten to understand that more and more, but a lot of times I'm just posting because I'm a gamer who loves games and I care about what these people are doing. I'm passionate, I'm very committed to the people in this company and their families, so when you say bad things about our games, I'm sure they'll be valid, but they'll be about our games. I just have trouble, I post a lot on Fires of Heaven, and I have for years, and it's a huge community, a very passionate community, and at times a very immature community, but they're people that care about the games they play, and at the end of the day, that's the thing I care more about than anything. So it's a forum that we want to make sure people understand, we recognize that we're going to have our own forums, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop participating in forums around the internet, because there's no incentive whatsoever for you guys to do what you're doing. None. But you do it, and you put time and effort into it, and that matters to us, and we need to make sure you understand that you matter to us. And again, we're going to have differences of opinion. We're going to do things you don't like, and you're going to do things we don't like. But if it's a civil conversation by people that are semi-mature, good stuff happens. For me, I mean, again, I would urge anybody that doesn't or hasn't, go check the Fires of Heaven thread. I mean, I'm always asking questions that I know will draw answers on both sides of the fence, because I hear the team and I hear them talk and I hear them work through feature development and their beliefs, their thoughts and ideas around what the players are going to think about. I'll go out to a forum and ask the question about that and see if they are right. And then, so it's a way for me to kind of get a feel to keep my finger on our pulse, and not, we don't want people drinking our Kool-Aid if they don't truly believe in the flavor. And so, we certainly don't want to drink our own Kool-Aid unless we believe in what we're doing. And forums are kind of a way, if you can decipher and get rid of the fluff, because there's a lot of it. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
A lot of folks in our community are definitely interested in what you're doing, and passionate. They also know that you guys are monitoring.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of, we read your blog, we
yeah.
hear what you're saying, that stuff is very well received.
Yep.
Is there any other thoughts that you have on how people who consider themselves sort of amateur developers, they want to get involved, but
right.
they don't, maybe they don't feel like they have credits, but they
well, listen, so again, we've talked about this. The quickest way to not get one is to email me and ask me, hey, give me a call, I'm interested in working for you. That generally doesn't go over very well. But there's a right and a wrong way. We're looking at hiring a massive amount of people in the next 1 to 2 years. And so there's a process on our website, follow that process. But I don't ever have a problem with somebody going overboard. I mean, there's a blog out there by a guy named Ixabel, who was a guy who sat in front of Blizzard with a sign for like 3 days looking for a job. He had created this content looking for a job. I called him and told him I loved what he did. And I said, dude, apply for our company. And so he did. And it ended up not working out for a lot of reasons but I love stuff like that, and because passion is at the foundation of everything we do. So I don't have a problem with someone emailing me as long as they're doing the professionally right things, because ultimately you're responsible to multiple hundreds of people, and it's I think the key is that everybody in our company looks at wearing the 38 Studios emblem as a badge and something you have to earn. And so, passion is at the foundation of what we do. If the passion comes through your resume, your cover letter, you're probably going to get a call back.